Hey, Treasure Valley, welcome back. I'm Stevie Kellerman. I am at BSU once again, not for one of the Broncos games, but actually to meet somebody absolutely famous and worldwide. I mean, to me, worldwide, definitely nationally. Dr. Greg Hampikian, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Thank you very much. It's really fun to sit down in my lab and talk to you. So welcome.
Yeah, we are here in the lab. It's pretty stinking amazing. He's actually allowed me an opportunity to just open my mouth, and he has already knowingly said that he'll probably steal some of my ideas later.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a smarty pants.
Yeah, you've already had very good ideas. And by the way, it's not my lab, right? I call it my lab, but
Yes.
It's actually paid for by the great taxpayers.
Oh, well, thank you, taxpayers.
Yes, thank you, taxpayers. And you're welcome to come and visit the lab if we just get you to sign the releases and such, because we work on cancer and such things. But yeah, I really consider it just an honor, and I realize every day when I come into work, or on the weekends if somebody wants to come in, that this is a wonderful
I did not know that they could do that. And you know, a little known fact, Treasure Valley, I just actually this last week found out that I have a couple of masses in my breast. Early detection is the best detection for cancer. And right behind me are some samples
breast
or
cancer,
some breast
Yeah.
See, thank you.
Yeah, I didn't tell you that when you
they
came
are
in.
actually, you're working with nullimers, correct?
Yeah,
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I came up with an idea many years ago when I didn't have a lab. And it was one of the crazy ideas, comes out of great conversations. Maybe I stole it from somebody.
Perhaps,
I don't
more
think
than
so.
likely.
But it's possible. And the idea was looking at something that doesn't exist. So my father, who was a physicist.
Kind of like Kevin's sense of humor.
Oops, sorry. Do we mention Kevin? Your
Sometimes
great
he
cameraman?
gets seen.
So he's kind of a nullimer to us.
Exactly, for sure. At this point, for sure.
But my dad was like an inveterate junk collector, and he taught me.
Who was also a physicist.
And a physicist and a brilliant man and a very kind guy. But he taught me that there's always something that is abundant and worthless today that will be rare and precious tomorrow.
Right.
And so he taught me to look for what other people are throwing away. And so I did that because I couldn't compete with all the great scientists who were doing looking at what we call conserved genes. So, for example, you want to look at cancer.
And the obvious, right?
Yeah, things that are there over and over again that
in
must be
nature
important.
that are natural and just there.
And everybody was hunting for those. This was 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
And I couldn't compete. But I thought, well, there's got to be something they're throwing away. And so I thought of, well, why don't I look for what doesn't exist?
Right.
And there's a lot of things that don't exist. It's very easy to come up with a DNA sequence, put it into one of the database searches, find out it doesn't exist yet. Anybody can do that on their computer. But what I wanted to do is systematically study what doesn't exist. So what are the smallest sequences, and I'm holding the 5 up because with proteins, at 5 amino acids, we found a few years back there were 198 sequences that had never been seen in nature. So there are 20 different amino acids.
That does make you sound like you are able to compete. You said that you can look at how he's so smart, you guys.
No.
Yes.
No. I'm just thrilled to be able to ask questions and have an opportunity to answer them. I think everybody. I think everybody is really smart. My mother-in-law, when I was married and she was alive, was a very kind of rough-talking, card-playing Canadian. Became a fireman in her 40s or 50s.
Holy Hannah!
Yeah, great woman.
You can do it too. You want to be a fireman? You can do it.
Yes. And she could play cards phenomenally well.
Okay.
And that's when I realized that I really struggled with card playing all my life. I'm not a card player.
Okay.
And I realized that, everybody has their area. Wherever they're passionate, that's it. Yeah, they'll find a question because it's there. It's already in the hardware.
Well, you know what I really think, and we have 2 segments that we're going to have an opportunity. The second segment I want to talk to you specifically about is the Idaho Innocence Project.
Great.
But I also, and that is, there's a book that was inspired by this gentleman who spent, 17 years?
Yes, in Georgia. He was a Georgia case. I didn't actually work on his case. I met him after he got out, the month he got out of prison. And I just really liked him because he was so positive.
Right.
And that's really
hard.
Yeah,
after
that's what I was
17
interested
years
in.
of I didn't do it.
Yeah.
You have me on death freaking
he
row,
had
and I didn't do it.
2 life terms plus, I don't know.
How do you serve 2 life terms? Really?
It's part of it's part of the system to do this kind of thing. But and when someone is innocent, I mean, imagine going up for your parole hearings, and we'll talk about this when you want to. But and Calvin would go to his parole hearings, and they would say, "Well, we see you're doing fine in your education. Your family supports you. You know, you're a model prisoner. You're ministering to other prisoners. Now tell us about your crime and how sorry you are." And he'd say,
I'm not sorry.
I wasn't there.
Do it.
Right, but I'll tell you what the lady said in court.
Right.
And they would just say 7 more years. We won't even talk to you in the parole board. So I think for the innocent people, and that's why I wanted to write this, it's very difficult, but I wanted to write about Calvin's case because he was so happy. Not even
and
before he got
positive,
out.
You said.
Yeah, before I went into the prison, I wasn't.
I don't know that I'd be positive.
I know that
through the whole thing.
I mean, I'm not positive when, you know, my kids wake up late for school. I can't imagine serving a life term for something I didn't do.
We're not laughing about life term, by the way. Hey, okay, so Treasure Valley, stay here. This is going to be great. He's got some amazing information for you, and we'll be right back after this commercial break. You're not going to want to miss it. Go get your popcorn now, and we'll be right back.